If you want to become a better leader in short span of time, subscribe to Raj Shamani Clips channel, because here we understand world's best leader and bring you their knowledge in short amount of time. Tell me one brand's case study or one brand's story that you absolutely love.
Nike.
Tell me, what do you love about it? What do you feel कि उन्होंने कब क्या किया that turned around their life?
So, I love the Nike story for many reasons.
Okay. Give me the story that you love. One of the most specific anecdote or one of the most specific story from Nike's journey. And then why do you love it? Give me both the things.
I think I'll have to say a few things because it won't encapsulate everything.
Okay.
But the number one, since you ask, is I love about Nike's journey how a lot of the first people and the people Phil Knight encountered were very important in shaping Nike. So it just shows that the right people are so important. And we are also growing our offline footprint. And I got on a call with the urban company guy and I was like, how do you make everyone so uniform across? How's the experience so uniform across? Because one day we'll have so many stores. And he's like, it's not the training. You may think it's the training, but actually what we optimize is the people. At whatever level in your company, just the right people make the biggest difference. Whether it is housekeeping, whether it's a designer, whether it's a CFO, whoever. So all of these people were so pivotal initially, and that's amazing. And what I like about the story is it has all the stories of entrepreneurship, right? People being relevant. There were times Nike wasn't relevant and they were losing. Making sure that it's always an on game. Phil Knight took some time off after IPO and he had to come back harder. So, that has everything I love about entrepreneurship. Thinking consumer first, and they made the mistakes. The first shoe they made without Onitsuka was a disaster. Because it didn't do well in cold weather. But all of these stories are exactly what an entrepreneur goes through. There are many near-death experiences. You always have to be on. You have to think consumer first. You have to be building for the bigger vision while looking at the smaller stuff. And that is a very hard switch to turn on and off. Like imagine you are going to an investor pitching saying, I want 100 crores. Then you have to go back to office and someone's asking you, should this be on a blue or a green t-shirt? And you have to, actually what people don't realize is the second decision is more important than the first.
Yeah.
The second will get the first then get the second. So I love the Nike story for that. And then today, what Nike is, right? Nike took bets where they should have, like on Jordan. Nobody would ever sign such a big deal. They were the first people to do it. That's true creativity in its own way. People think creativity is only like what colors you use, but real creativity in the business world are these structures that you have taken these calculated decisions that are going to just give exponential returns.
So I remember a conversation of one of the interviews of Phil Knight, where Phil Knight talks about when he wanted to build a sports division. They were number one in running shoes and they were doing great, right? And they wanted to enter basketball, they wanted to enter other sports everywhere. So the interviewer asks that Converse at that time was number one
for basketball.
Adidas was again in the race. These guys were doing some of the other thing. They all had experts in making basketball shoes, in sport shoes. And Nike didn't have any expert to make basketball shoes. So the Phil Knight gets asked, like, why don't you have an expert in that? He said, I have an expert of the game. Shoe to I'll make.
Absolutely.
I want somebody who can scout the right person who can wear my shoe, not the right shoe. Because we are in the talent spotting business, not in shoe making business.
Yeah.
If I spot the right talent, which is Michael Jordan, automatically I will make sure that I give him the best shoe. And then when my right talent wears the shoe becomes right. The shoe doesn't have to be right.
Yeah.
And that's why if you look at Jordans, they're not actually basketball shoes. They're just right shoes for right show off, for right amount of signaling, for right amount of coolness factor in basketball. You can't play real basketball while wearing
back then though.
shoes, right?
Back then it was. But I completely get your point, right? Getting Jordan would force them to make a shoe worthy of Jordan.
Yeah, like it was, to me, that was so exciting that his approach to look at business was so different.
Yeah.
His approach to look at business was like, I'm in a talent business. How do I spot the right talent?
Yeah.
शू तो मैं बना ही लूंगा भाई, मुझे शू का एक्सपर्ट नहीं चाहिए.
Love it. The best, I think biggest takeaway is how many times Phil Knight was wrong.
Yeah.
And that's also super, right? How many times he was wrong, but not being hung up on it. So that's why it's a very complete story of.
There's this German entrepreneur. I forgot his name. The book is in German, right? And they have an English translation. While I was in Berlin, I saw that. So there's some German billionaire. He wrote a book, All the Things I Did Wrong. So read this. You might make something right out of my wrongs.
Yeah.
I love it. I was like, every entrepreneur should write this. Like, these are the 50 ideas where I failed.
Yeah.
And because I failed in this 50 ideas, the 51st I was successful. You take these 50, you might turn something around.
I want to say something, and I don't know how you edit it, but probably put it the last. Everything I've spoken, okay, is my story. If I had to write a book, which is full of advice, it would be a one-line book, which is to say, the amount of advice I've been given on the way with 100% conviction, which was 100% untrue, is so much. So everyone has a point of view because they have different circumstances.
Yeah.
And probably at the same Excel sheet, but the number of variables in life are just so many that someone else's advice may not work for you. Probably won't. Otherwise, sab log Michael Jordan ban jate.
True.
He'll write a book. This is how you play basketball. Stupid, do it. But you can't, right? Because there are just so many more variables that won't work for you. So sabka suno, par apna karo.
Yeah, that's true. I used to say this since very long time. Probably. जब मैं खुद ही बच्चा था लेकिन तब भी मैं यही बोलता था. So I want to keep that one advice. I always keep it for myself. So every time I used to give a speech, people would ask me, what's one advice you would give it to me? I was like, the best advice is stop seeking for advices.
Yeah.
Because the more advices you seek, the dumber you get and the more confused you get.
Yeah.
Start seeking for problem statements. Like, I should not come to you and be like, hey, give me the best advice for entrepreneurship. I should come to you and be like, hey, you know what? मैंने मेरी t-shirt company start करी. I started a t-shirt company with 50,000 rupees. Now I'm burning 30,000 a month, 20,000 a month I'm making back. I'm not able to take this 20,000 to 2 lakh. What can I do at this pace with 5 t-shirts and 5 designs I have? So then you can help me because it's a problem statement you yourself have gone through.
Even better than that, I would say one step further is if I would ask someone for advice, the main thing I'm taking away is their thought process. Because even though what worked for that person may not be the same because market scenario is different, marketing is different, brand is different, whatever, product is different. But at least the way that person approached the problem is interesting to learn from.
Nice. I'm taking this away. How would you deal with this problem in today's world if you were me?
Yeah.
And is that the thought process makes more sense?
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much for watching this clip till the end. For more such insightful and leadership talks, subscribe Raj Shamani Clips channel because we help you become a better leader through the content we provide here.